What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the new series, In the Cut. No pun intended, kind of, really, right? I wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you for watching all of my videos. If you guys are new to this channel, which I'm sure a lot of you are, I'd love to introduce myself. And for a lot of you that have been rocking with me since back in the day, I'd love to reintroduce myself. My name is Anastacio. I am the owner, operator of Union Martial Arts in Canada. We have 2 locations, one in Ontario, or Toronto for those that don't understand the geography of Canada, and one here that I'm currently sitting at, which is in Calgary, Alberta. If you guys were following me for a while, you would have probably found me during the time of COVID when we had the lockdowns. I was putting out a lot of content, a lot of tutorials. Our online academy was booming, and you probably found me from Filipino martial arts. However, I am a 6th degree maestro in Kali. I am also a 6th degree maestro in Filipino Kuntao, which is our form of karate, which extends to our kickboxing program here. I am an avid lover of every type of martial arts. I'm a grappler myself, and I am not only a gym owner, head instructor, but I'm also a dad, and I'm also a soon-to-be husband. So kind of just speeding you guys up from probably my peak of YouTube. During the time of COVID, my Filipino came out, sorry. During the time of COVID, when I was able to put out a lot of content, number one, I had all of my friends, assistants, high-level students able to help me with a lot of technique in demonstrating. And during the time when I couldn't, I had all the free time because the gym was closed, so I was just popping out content, video after video after video. And that was really the height of my YouTube career, if you will. However, during that time, also, that was the beginning of my fatherhood. So I have a beautiful child that was born. And since then, I have been balancing, of course, daddy duties as well as owning the gym. I took a step back and allowed some of my students to continue running a little bit more operations, which ultimately led me to moving across the country to the West Coast, all the way here to Calgary, Alberta. Settled down here, continuing to raise my family, decided to open a second location, which we are currently at, and now running and operating 2 gyms, one remotely and one physically. It was definitely a lot where I had to take a back from content creation on every level and just, facing the challenges again of learning streets, learning, where stores are, building a gym from the scratch again. This facility was actually very special because I got to build it the way I wanted to, and I'll talk a little bit about that later. But even just opening a gym with 0 students and day one when we had all of our trials with pretty much less than 1% having experience in martial arts, teaching everybody from the basics. It's almost as if I was 19 again, starting Union Martial Arts for the first time. I am now 31, and boy, was it a challenge. So with that being said, I think it is due time to give you guys a tour of my brand new facility here in Calgary. So let's take a tour around this facility, show you guys what I have developed over the course of a year, and pretty much what I have intended to design over the course of a decade in the martial arts industry. Let's go. Okay, everybody, we're gonna go a little bit from my perspective here. So when you walk in from the outside, we have a nice big sign outside, nice beautiful day here in Calgary, but we have this little vestibule area where students will put away their shoes during the winter time, because it does get pretty cold here during the winter. Students will hang their jacket, keep it nice and neat in here, keep the cold air out, and then we're gonna walk through these front door here. This will lead us into our reception area. So this is the front desk here. We have our POS system. Second screen that I like to help illustrate things about the membership, our schedule. We got our lovely stage diffuser to make this place smell very luxurious. I have some of my stuff in the back, some merch. And through the reception area, you'll lead us down to this first hall. This first hall will carry all of the hygienic things. So we have both a women's and men's change room, which they're pretty much the same, just mirrored. So I'll take you through the men's real quick. We still have some things to add in. We're looking to add in some lockers here in this empty space, but we do have a little mirror here to double check yourself before you walk out. Nice little ledge here that you can plug in to charge your phone, or you can plug in, accessories to do your hair or whatnot. Nice little bench. Working our way down here, and we have a shower available for all of our students. Okay, so You can come in here, shower after your noon class, head out straight to work. Don't stay here after the last class in the evening because I am going home. We got ourselves 2 washrooms here to the left, which are again the same, just mirrored. Nice big spacious washroom, you know, the essentials, toilet, hands-free sink, soap, of course, some cleaning supplies to store here. Nothing spectacular there. And then we got some storage towards the back where I keep a lot of the uniforms, I keep my stuff, keep it nice and neat out of the way. Minus that box, I'm just cycling through some stuff before class starts, so that's heading to the recycling bin in a sec. Let's walk our way down here. So we go make our way through a reception. This is kind of our lounge area here. I intended to only have 2 benches from my experience in our other location, but turns out we need more. Anyways, baby snake plant growing in the corner, another diffuser to continue the luxurious smell. This portrait here actually is a little edit I did, and this is on the beaches of Saudi Arabia. This here, though you can't tell in his face, this is Grand Maestro Rolly, this is my instructor. And over here, this is Grand Maestro John Bias, the mysterious man himself. Okay, so if you take a seat down here in the lounge area, this is kind of your view here. So to the right, you have the mats. Right in front of you, we have our complimentary coffee machine for all of our parents and students if they would like to. We got Gatorade and water in the mini fridge for purchase. Usually on that TV up there, we would have our reception TV, which includes birthdays, special events, stripe days, closures, things of that nature. We got a little bit of posters up here. I'll just come a little bit closer so you can see. To the left, we have our Academy etiquettes, just some guidelines for all of our students here. And then to the right, Academy progression, all the way from a white belt or pre-sash going all the way down to Grand Maestro. This right here is one of my very prides of my academies. Though it is off, we have an attendance system here that each student would have a 3-digit PIN. They type it in here, and when they type it in, it'll show up their name, it'll show their current rank, it'll also tell them what stripe category they can demonstrate for next, the date they can go demonstrate that, as well as the amount of classes they've attended at that level. So that's huge for me, managing 2 gyms, because sometimes I don't even know some of the students in our Ontario location. I just know their name, I know their rank, but I get to see how many times they've logged in. So we have a rough guideline on how long it would approximately take to get from level to level, though that does vary because we don't test for the belts themselves. But if I see some sort of discrepancy, I can follow through on it and make sure that I get that resolved right away. So nobody's left behind, nobody's forgotten, and we make sure we're getting you from point A to point B the best way we can. So that is super helpful to me. As we carry on here to the right, so we have this little open space here, and on the topic of the benches, a big thing that I have found out living here in Calgary versus back in Ontario, a lot of the students, especially in our youth program, they would just come in here and they would drop their kids off. So maybe 2, 3 parents at most. So I figured, you know what? Even if they were to squish each other in, that's 6 parents right there, we should be okay. This plaza in particular, there's plenty of restaurants around us, grocery stores, dentists, optometrists. There's an Anytime Fitness down the street, or rather, actually, it's literally right there across the street. So I feel like parents would drop off their kids and run some errands. But come to know it, we have a very, very strong community. So during our youth program, our youth classes, this is all packed. And then literally from this wall all the way down, we have parents sitting on the ground watching their kids. And honestly, I love it. I love that parents are here. It's one of the biggest motivators and success factors of all of our youth students when parents are involved. So to come into that corner, we're actually going to build in a wall bench with some mini tables and some outlets to make sure that parents can sit there comfortably. If they want to do some work on their laptop or whatnot, they can not only charge their phone, but charge any sort of tablet, put it up on that little wooden desk, and then they can do some work while watching the class. And over here, everyone, is the bread and butter of every martial arts gym. This is our training area. This gym is based on a lot of the industrial feel. So you can see kind of like the concrete or exposed flooring, open ceilings, something I wasn't able to accomplish with the Brampton gym. And that's because I took that gym on with minimal overhead and I just kind of built it bit by bit. So a lot of the pre-existing stuff that was there, I kept just to save on some money. It was part of a children's play center, so there was already a washroom, just moving around some walls and of course putting down the mats. But this gym I got to build from scratch and do it the way I want. So we have our 3 heavy bags here on our hangman stand. These are actually 5-foot bags, just positioned a little lower to utilize for leg kicks. We have about 1,200 square feet. I know it doesn't sound like much, but it is definitely big because of the way that it is laid out. We have smooth tatami mats, still sticking with the theme of Union martial arts. A lot of these freestanding bags down here, we got 5 of them. This is used for our youth program for our junior kids, little guys who might be a little bit too delicate for the heavy bags. We got ourselves our little training dummy here, a portrait of Grandmeister, of course, and then we have 24 individual, they're not exactly Thai pads, and they're not exactly just focus mitts. They're kind of long, extended focus mitts, so they're great for kicks too, but not as clunky, and it only goes into your hand, not down to your forearm, so that you can still practice some weaves and slips of that nature. A little bit more of equipment, sound system. This TV, this is huge, guys. If you don't do this already, if you are a small operation and you are the owner, head instructor, head janitor, social media marketer, website designer, things of that nature, a lot of the times you are already thinking about tomorrow, or you kind of get lost in the moment, you forget what you're going to teach. And honestly, any instructor, I'm sure you have gone through this, where you just run out of things to teach. It's not that you don't know it, you just can't think of it right now. And maybe it doesn't make sense with what you've been working on. So what I like to do is, on this TV here every day, we have our lesson plan, and I do these in a month in advance so that they flow well from week to week to week. But I have my lesson plan with notes up there on what we're going to work on. It is great for me because I'm teaching from the opposite side here, but the more experienced my students become, usually when they're training in pairs and I'm going around helping my students, they can self-correct just by looking up to the TV, double checking what's the punch, what's the combination, boom, right back into training. So that is the right side of Union Martial Arts. There is actually a 3rd vacant unit to the wall here, which we are hoping to take on in the near future. And that is going to give us space to have a private room for either a secondary class or private training. And we're going to look forward to having a elevated ring or cage, and then strength and conditioning area pretty much all the way down there. Some turf, some kettlebells, medicine balls, some assault bikes, things that are going to complement a lot of our students here. And it'll be, of course, private for all the members here, so no one can just walk in and walk out. Good morning, guys. It is Thursday morning, and I realized the last clip you probably saw was a few days ago, and I've been meaning to film some content during class, but I'm so used to being in this groove of teaching and being in the moment with my students that I forget to set up the camera, because normally I'd have a lot more senior students back at the other location. And so I kind of can just hover around the mats a little bit, and then I can set up my camera or get someone to hold it. So I apologize for the kind of disconnect between the last clip and this one. But today's Thursday. It is about 8:30 in the morning. I got a private coming in 8:45. I want to take you guys a little bit on the back end, the not so glorious stuff about owning a gym, and see what we got cooked up for today. Tonight we'll have a few more classes, and then the last clip you guys will probably see is going to be from one of our Saturday classes that we call striking, which is our kickboxing side of things, but it is our sparring drills, partner drills, and bag work or pad work drills hyper intensified into a weekly session. All right, everybody, it is Thursday, like I mentioned. Usually Wednesday or Thursday we'd go through, and by we I mean I myself, and I would go through kind of a deep clean. And I always try to do a little bit of midweek because we operate all the way up through Saturday. But what we tend to start off with here, sorry, this corporate talk. What I like to start off with is wiping down the focus mitts. Now, particularly today, the Century bags you see behind me there have already been wiped down. So we're going individual, especially since we just had some pad work the past few nights. So we start off by cleaning the faces. My OCD will flip it back on the other side. Then we got to make sure we wipe on the inside because all those sweaty little paws be taking up all the space in there. And then, of course, we got to put it back into the middle, to the little cubbies here. And my students back in Ontario always tease me for this, especially my staff there. But with my pads, I have super OCD. They have to be color coordinated, and in this case, it has to be left over right. And we move on to the heavy bags, same process here. So everything we're spraying down right now, we're using just kind of a general multi-purpose cleaner, disinfectant, and we're using a microfiber cloth that is specifically intended for the training equipment. So spray them all down, give them a good little wipe down. Okay, make sure you get the back where everyone's toenails hit. We only have 3 heavy bags, so it's not too bad. So now that all the equipment on the mats are all clean, we can get to cleaning the actual mats for the bread and butter of the gym basically is. So we start off with the vacuum here, and I take it in kind of like thirds or quadrants, and I work all the way up and down, every crease and corner, even if I can't see anything, just because of the nature of how we train, whether we're grappling on the ground, a lot of footwork, whatever it might be. So we go through all of that. Once the vacuuming is done, we go ahead and start our mop process here, okay? So same thing. Working in this case with my mopping, I go in thirds here. But I kind of like to set like a boundary so I know where I need to focus on at the time being. Once we finish the mop there, pro tip everybody, this mop is only for the mats. I do not use this anywhere else. We make our way down to the change rooms, and so we're gonna vacuum the change rooms, get into all the nooks and crannies again, wipe down the table, mop the floor. In this case, I'm just using a handheld one with a microfiber. Same thing for the other change room because they're basically the same but mirrored. And then we go into washroom cleaning, gloves on. Pro tip also for washroom cleaning. Didn't want to take any videos of that because I don't think that's appealing. Gloves and use paper towels. Here we are moving on to the reception area with the coffee machine. This gets pretty dusty over the week, so wipe down the mini fridge, clean the Nespresso, wipe all the dust underneath the pods. And here is something that is unexpected for most people. I clean the garbage can. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, I clean the garbage can. Why? Because one thing I've learned over the decade plus that I've been running martial arts gyms is that for adult students and kids, you earn them as students on the mats, but you earn parents and other members as clients from the upkeep of your facility. First impressions are so important. Now, you still got to be a great martial arts instructor, but upkeep of your facility is one of the reasons why you charge what you charge. So once all of that is all done, ladies and gentlemen, here I go throwing out the garbage. A little bit of Johnny Cage action for you guys. And then some of the things we don't talk about are the vestibule area, which is this area over here. I usually Windex that before students start walking in because we have a lot of glass. A lot of the little kids, when they try opening the doors, their fingerprints get onto the windows. And then I will refill the Sage diffusers. One wireless one for the seating area, one at desk, so that when they walk in, they smell that luxurious smell. I will refill that and get that set before the evening starts. So when you really break it down, guys, it's an ugly but honest truth. Honestly, the actual role of running an academy or a gym, I would say it's like 60 to 70% of cleaning, and then another 20% of planning, marketing, doing all the stuff on the back end on the computer. And then the last like 10, 20%, depending how you break it down, let's call it 10%, is actually teaching. You don't have to be the best teacher to have a successful gym. However, if you do want to separate yourself, aside from the upkeep of the facility, obviously you have to be a standout on the mats as well. Now we're recording. Basically, I cut out. Okay, so let's look at the technique first, and then we'll talk about both responsibilities. Right? So he's going slip, cross hook, bang, bang. I want him to find this rhythm here. Slip, up hook, boom, boom. This is his rhythm now. 1, 2. He's gonna sidestep, shuffle, bang, finish there. Okay? Find our groove again, and that's what we want. Okay, we're gonna be here. Can you hold up? So we're gonna go here. He's gonna throw a jab, slip, bang, bang. And then, I still slip this jab. He's gonna throw the cross, and there's my slip there. Boom, boom. 1, 2, whoop, bang, bang. And I'm still here. Find your groove again. Okay? This is gonna help you throw your jab. Oh, I found that. Going across, I found that. Throw whichever one you want, I found that. Right? Because I'm not stressed out about it. And I gotta get it right there, right then. Let's say I do this, and then you throw your jab. Oh shoot, I cannot slip it. Throw the jab, boom, and I go like that. I'm gonna go. It's okay. If I think to it. There is no sparring round where you don't get hit. So the moment that you make a mistake, I thought he was across through a jab, and I'm gonna go, game over. What's gonna happen is he's gonna throw that jab, find the rhythm again. He goes across, maybe this time, I found it. And I catch him there. Okay, that's why you gotta develop that rhythm inside of you. Otherwise, the moment they shut it down, which they will from time to time, you're gonna be panicking and you're gonna be screwed. Okay? So the one thing, my biggest, it's a pet peeve. In competitions, you wanna have a good dance partner. Someone who's gonna make you work and really showcase your skill. That's why they don't like when a wrestler fights a striker. Because if the striker doesn't knock him out, the wrestler is going to bring them to their world and then flatten them, the other guy's going to panic and can't do anything. Right? They like a good dance partner where we're playing strike for strike, the crowd is entertained, they make millions of dollars together. Right? But right now I'm his pad holder. Okay? If I want him to develop this rhythm, I'm his dance partner right now. Right? So I slip. Boom, here I am. See, I'm making him read that. Boom, boom. Now I'm over here. I'm moving with them. I'm moving with them like we were fighting. Because I want him to see that. You know how demoralizing it is? So let's say he just finished. Go to the body. Yeah. That? He's here like, oh, I'm slinging, I'm good. Okay. That's our job as pad holders. You can still practice the same things on the back. Obviously, you won't have a hand to slip. You can still practice this. You can practice it wherever you want. Right? Let's have that part. You're finding this common body language. This is how sparring is. Go ahead. No, you do this. No, you do it. Hold on. Yeah, slip. Boom. See, I'm finding this rhythm here. And that's where, come sparring, he's going to be like, hey, I can do this. He's going to be moving like this in a shallow boxing, and then boom, he makes a decision. It's not always the perfect decision, but it's a decision at the speed. And that's what we're developing. Today, that's what we constantly work on in sparring. You don't make every perfect decision, ever. Right? I watched you guys do the pad work, you all make mistakes. You just gotta keep going. You can't go, yeah, that's wrong, just keep going. That's wrong. You know what's also wrong? This. That's also wrong. And in fact, if we were fighting and I did this, oh shoot, it's supposed to be 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. You think he cares? He's not gonna care. He's gonna, I'm gonna punch. He's not gonna go, oh, it's supposed to be 2. It was supposed to be, boom, he knocks me out. There's no conversation in sparring, just our body language. Right, so that's hit, don't get hit, don't get hit. That's what it's supposed to be. Okay? So do your best as training partners, emulate what we're working towards. And you don't have to be a black belt, you don't have to be perfect at it. But emulate what we're working towards. Okay? We're not opening a book, sitting down with. Okay? We're not looking at the structure of cross. Right? Punch. Okay, we'll take that one today. Because the way that we're doing it is slip, boom, boom, that's how we're doing it. Right? Look at the automatic response yet. The hand wasn't even up there, you threw a hook. Why? It feels right. It feels the way, that's what we're working on. sir.
Yeah.